Hey, what's going on, guys? This here once again. So I'm going to try to make this video real quick. So right at the beginning, we have a lot to get through. So I'm going to plug right at the beginning. League Start is in a few hours from now. If you want to hang out on League Start, I will be live streaming on Twitch. My normal day ones are usually at least 20 hours. So feel free to stop by, hang out for a little bit. Or if you have questions about the build, I'm messing with tabs. If you have questions about builds or whatever, feel free to come by there. I'm going to be pushing ladder on HCSSF. So feel free to come stop by and hang out. I have decided that I'm going to be league starting with my Vaal Reap Ascendant build. So if that interests you and you want to see how that's going, feel free to, again, stop by. Aside from that, please do subscribe on YouTube if you're enjoying the content I'm putting out. I will have stuff scheduled all the way up until League Start and the day after League Start. After that, I will have to make more content. I do have a few videos that will not be able to get out before League Start, so I'm sorry about that, but those builds are still coming. Don't worry about it. Aside from that, this video is going to be 3 separate POBs. We're going to go over 3 things. The first thing is the leveling tree. The second thing is the Mk.2, the reworked second pass POB I did for Ice Shot after finishing the Endgame cluster tree. I went back and made some of those improvements that I could carry over to the initial tree as well. And then finally, the Endgame GG tree with the cluster jewel setup and everything. So we're going to go over 3 things. I'm going to try to blow through this really quickly. So this can be super quick, super concise. So the first thing to go over, this leveling tree is very different from my Reap leveling tree. It is 4 separate brackets for leveling with these different trees, and that is all there is. There are no skills, there are no items. I'm doing this because 1, I am pressed for time. 2, I have not personally tested this for leveling beyond Act 1, and 3, I strongly believe that bows are one of the harder league starts to pull off. Now, Crucible should make this a lot easier with what they've seen, or what they've shown us and what we've seen from the Act 1 Crucible trees, where it can give a bunch of flat damage on your weapons and stuff really easily. However, bows are something that usually experienced players are gonna start with. So if you're like super inexperienced at the game, probably don't start with Ice Shot. You are always welcome to do whatever you want. However, for this POB for leveling, it is literally just trees here. And then that's it. There are no skills this time around. Now, I will say it's probably going to be best to level with Splitting Steel, mule it over from Duelist, Splitting Steel with Chance to Bleed, and level until 12 that way, just because of the way the tree starts out here. That's probably what's going to be better. You can start Ice Shot, especially if you get a good weapon early. I did Ice Shot through Act 1 and Act 2 just to see how it felt, and it was okay, and it'll be a lot better tomorrow or later today, but Splitting Steel is probably still going to be faster. Anyway, aside from that, not going to spend a lot of time going over this. It's literally just trees with brackets. It should be really hard to miss this, but effectively all this tree does is it tries to utilize, you'll get 1 damage node down here since you have to spend so many travel nodes so early on. Like Act 1 is going to be a little bit of pain. But as soon as you get to this damage node, this is basically when you can start going Ice Shot and you'll have good damage. And we just beeline precise technique. This is what's going to give you like a lot of early damage and be able to level comfortably while using Ice Shot. And then directly after that, you want to go for Graceful Assault. This is going to be your onslaught on kill. And as soon as you grab this, your build's going to be online. You're going to be zooming. Right here, this is a little bit of mana leech to help mana costs. And then the accuracy mastery over here is 500 flat accuracy that reduces per level. As well as these nodes giving a bunch of all res. So this will give you a bunch of all res and a shit ton of accuracy. You're not going to have to worry about accuracy for any of your leveling experience. So that's going to be the main core tree right there. And then right after that, there's Point Blank, which is 30% more damage. So just from these 2 nodes alone, you're getting 70% more damage. That's why we're rushing this. And then you'll just see the tree kind of filter out from there, get the rest of your conversion on Ice Shot, get life, all that good stuff. And then fill the tree out from there. I will say for like gems, you're gonna want to use lesser multiple projectiles and then probably go for Pierce. But as soon as you get like +1, +2, it depends on if you want to go for full piercing shots or just get the +1 here. Get your Master Fletcher and your multi-shot, because as soon as you get both of these, you'll be able to drop LMP and replace it with the actual damage support. You can replace it per fork if you want, which is a little bit of extra damage, just to clear even faster. Or you can replace it with a damage support if you want more damage, because you will have Pierce. So it depends on what you want to do. The next big thing is just going for Forces of Nature to get this mastery that's really, really broken OP. And yeah, aside from that, at the end here, you'll notice that the tree changes here. It's because you will be using the free respecs you get from Axe to respec out of this part of the tree once you've linked it up from the top. And that will give you your overcharged and all the nodes up here. And then as soon as you do Uber Lab, that's when you'll kind of pull all these points out here and then link the tree up from the duelist section instead, because those points are going to be more efficient for you. Anyway, that's the leveling tree. Now we're going to move on to the pre-cluster tree. So I changed a lot. Basically what I went in, because of this new passive node here on the Elemental Mastery, it's so broken. I found out while POVing the endgame setup for this that I was like, I can just drop all the stuff up here and get it on the bottom side of the tree. So it's effectively what I'm doing. I dropped everything, all this extra pathing up towards the top, and instead we get Forces of Nature with the mastery. We're able to grab a lot more stuff on the bottom side of the tree, like Fangs of Frost. I go for Graceful Assault as well and get the Armor Evasion mastery just for extra armor. There's Fury Bolts, you can get damage there. And then Iron Grip is actually pretty worth with the Duelist tree because you do get some extra strength. And you just fill in damage here instead, since you drop damage from up here. And it's more or less, I also went and grabbed, I believe I didn't have this before, Taste of Blood, and 40% increased armor and evasion rating while leeching. I don't remember if that was there before or not. But then also this mastery, I'm pretty sure it wasn't, recover 4% when you use Flask. Basically this tree is the same. It's about the same damage. Worst case scenario, it's about the same damage, but it's more quality of life, which will translate to actually more DPS, and then it's tankier as well. It's just all around just a better tree than the old one. So I will be changing the POB in the old video, the first video, and then I will be linking in that video to this video, and I will have all three links down below. Now, I'm sorry, it's going to be 3 separate POBs. I made them all at different times with different stuff, and putting them all together would take a lot of time. It's just easier to have 3 separate links, sorry. So this is how the tree has changed there. And then finally, the end game setup. This is something that nobody has seen yet. I was going to make this its own video, but effectively we fit in a cluster jewel, and normally this is where I plan on dropping all the stuff on top. But this node ended up being so good that I applied it to the first tree as well. Basically, we fit in cluster jewels here, and we take, points out of Fangs of Frost, out of Fury Bolts. We unspec the duelist nodes, all that stuff, because we get more efficient points once we grab the cluster jewels. Now, for the actual cluster jewels, I'm running increased damage with bows. So we have Smite the Weak, which has 40% increased attack damage against maim enemies. So we get maim on hit. Now, if you don't want to deal with this, you can always take a node that will be slightly weaker, but always on. That will apply for while you're mapping and stuff too. But in single target, you'll have 100% uptime on this. So this is kind of just preference. This is the highest single target damage one. The other ones would be slightly less top end damage, but more general damage, like on the first hit. Then we have Feed the Fury. This is attack damage while leeching and increased attack speed while leeching. Obviously, we do still have overleech. It's like one of the main mechanics of the build. We just don't get life from it, but we still do have that leech ticking. So this is a bunch of damage, attack speed. Finally, I decided to go for slightly less damage, but something that would feel really fun and make clear speed it's going to be so overkill. It's beautiful because we do have 2 Pierce. We do have Fork with an additional projectile while forking. And then we have Vengeance Cascade, so all the projectiles will come back, and then also proc those cones on the way back. And now we'll also have pops. And the cool thing about this build is because it is a fizz conversion build, we are scaling fizz damage. all of this dealing 1/10 of their life as fizz damage will be scaled up as well. So that will be actually really strong pops. I'm using this instead of Herald of Ice, obviously. Not playing a crit build makes it a little bit more annoying to get those freezes. And we don't have to worry about the mana reservation. Though, I should say also for the leveling tree, right here, you do have a 3-pointer 12% mana reservation efficiency. So if you decide to fit in another aura into this build, you want to fit something else in, you do have room for it if you want to. And you can also do this while leveling, if you want to fit in additional auras while leveling the character. I forgot to mention that. Anyway, so this will be really sick. This should be fun. It's not the highest damage node, but it will massively improve clear speed and how much fun you're having. Now, the next cluster jewel is, it's identical. It's the same one, just in both slots. It is a projectile damage one, and I'm using Eye to Eye and Repeater. So Repeater is just attack speed and projectile damage. And then we have Eye to Eye, which has 25% scaling up to 60% increased damage total, as long as you're nearby an enemy. So this is the most single target damage. However, there could be a use case for Fury Bolts, I believe. Whichever one gives you projectile speed instead. It is only 25% damage, so you're losing 35% damage on each one of these nodes, but you do get projectile speed, and more projectile speed will be faster clear and faster returns on the Vengeance Cascade. Which one ends up being better, you're going to have to play test and see which feels better, but this is more damage on paper. And then the jewel sockets, I sacrifice damage sockets here for Abyss Jewels with life, accuracy, and chance to avoid being shocked. You don't need the accuracy on these jewels, but it would be nice if you got all 3 stats. And I'm using this because these two combined with thick skin makes us completely immune to shock, so we don't have to worry about shock on the build at all, which opens up flask options as well. It means that if we spend 1 passive point here, we can also automate phasing, so we won't need a quartz flask. And then you can use Writhing Jar all the time to make sure your Overleach doesn't run out ever, or if you want, you can just use a different flask there instead. Up to you. And that's pretty much it, I believe, on the tree side. Now, on the other side of this, we have Heat Shiver. So I changed around the supports on both of these. This is the pre-cluster tree. I changed around the supports on both of these. Now, Ice Shot here on this tree is Ice Barrage, or Ice Shot, Barrage support for single target, Fork for clearing, Cold Pen, Mirage Archer, LE damage with attacks, and damage on full life. I got this question on the other video. Someone was like, how can you use damage on full life if you're reserving your life for precision? That's because we take the life mastery here. You count as a full life while at 90% of maximum life or above. This is a new mastery. We reserve 7% of our life, so we're at 93%, so we will always be on full life, even though we're not at full life. So you will still get the damage from damage on full life on that. And then on this tree, you want to use the same supports if you're using Heat Shiver or if you're not using Heat Shiver, and if you're using Heat Shiver, then Trinity actually becomes better than Cold Pen because you're getting a bunch of extra added fire. It is noteworthy that this build will only sustain a 25 resonance Trinity, but even at 25 resonance, it still becomes the best support while using Heat Shiver, and Heat Shiver is a huge damage increase. Just depends on what you want to do. Obviously, a rare helmet is going to be tankier with more defense, and a Heat Shiver is going to give you more damage. It's worth noting that Ice Shot just innately gets a bunch of extra chill, so that paired with this mastery should make it so you don't have any issue getting max chills even in single target situations to capitalize on that Heat Shiver damage. So even without freezing, you'll notice that Heat Shiver is still a 25% damage boost for the build, and you have to keep in mind that Vengeance Cascade doubles the damage on that, so it is roughly a 50% damage increase on those returning projectiles. So Heat Shiver is definitely really, really strong in the build if you decide to utilize it. So I believe I touched on everything. If you guys have any questions, let me know, and I'll answer them as soon as I can, but I'm going to be obviously very busy with League Start tomorrow. Once again, subscribe if you like the videos. I tried to make this one as short as I could. Oh my god, 15 minutes. This is a new record, and I went through 3 POVs. Okay, so Subscribe, please, if you like the videos, you want to support me. You can ring the little notification bell and all that stuff to be notified when new videos come out. I will have a few videos scheduled to come out even after league start, so I'll be busy. I won't be recording them, but they're already set up, scheduled, and ready to go. So there is content coming. I appreciate all the subs. Thank you guys, by the way. I just passed 3,000. We're already at 3,100 now, but thanks a bunch for passing 3,000 subs. Aside from that, again, a few hours from now, like an hour or two before league start, I will be live over on Twitch, also at Physics. All links are down below. And then finally, in the Discord, there's a build help channel. There will be a build compendium. I've not updated that. I will do that before I sleep, where you can find even things that won't have videos or have not gotten videos yet. I will put those POBs for you in case you want to bait yourself in a league starter. Some of them are not completely finished. Some of them are rough POBs. I will include those as well. You've been warned. The gear may not be finished. Some of the tree may not be super optimized yet or something like that, but those will be there. Anyway, finally, follow me on Twitter if you're on Twitter, and that's everything. Thanks so much. I have a bunch more videos to make, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Take it easy and have a good league start.